Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Anne Marie with Anne Marie Creates, and I'm coming to you today to share my next design team project for Witchcraft Creations. I made a coffin-shaped mini album using the Spooktacular collection from Echo Park, and it's just fantastic, and I just couldn't pass it up. I have a die that actually says Spooktacular, so I had to cut that out, and a little black cat. So yeah, anyway, so here's my mini album. Woo, look at the witches flying and the bat. That was another, I actually had this in my stash from last year. There's a skull and crossbones. This is an actual sticker from the sticker collection. I just punched out a 2-inch circle and attached it there, and you can see I attached them with some acetate. The witch here, she is a sticker from the sticker collection, and you can see here I had a spider in my stash from somewhere along the way, I don't know. Trick or Treat banner is a sticker from the collection. I made a little rosette out of 2 strips of the paper. The paper strips were 1 inch by 10 inches, and then I just scored every 1/2 inch. There are a million tutorials out there showing you how to make a rosette, a paper rosette. See how cute it is? Yeah, and I just added, popped it up on some foam, cut a piece of the green paper, and stuck it on there. It really works so easily. So this is the Smell My Feet. It's a 3x4 cut apart, so Trick or Treat, Smell My Feet. With the witch feet, witch legs and feet. I love it, love it. I took I think this is, I don't know, what is that, a 1/2 inch strip of a piece of the pattern paper, and I just folded it up and I like ruffled it a little bit and fishtailed the ends, so turned it into a little ruffle. I don't know if you can tell, it's hard to tell. I had these bones in my stash, and then this button here is from the, where is it? I showed it in my haul video, the Buttons Galore and More Witchcraft Halloween collection, so you'll see some of those throughout the mini album. Oh, and speaking of that, I tied it closed with this beautiful green, sage green satin ribbon that was in my kit, or in my design team package. That super cute little cat, super cute little cat, and that ghost, those are both buttons from the Witchcraft Buttons Galore and More collection. So I just cut the shank off, cut out a 1-inch circle, and glued the ribbon in between 2 1-inch circles, and you have automatic little dangle. Ta-da! And then over here, this was probably my favorite paper out of all of them in the collection. You have like the little bones with the hearts at the end. Love it. And this, the Boo Crew, is a sticker from the sticker sheet. So I actually just love how, you know, like the witch moves along with the book, and the moon and the spider web. Just super, super cute. Okay. All right, so let's open this up. So again, it's coffin shaped. All the pages are coffin shaped. Oh, let me go back to this. So I used the mirror cardstock from Craft Perfect. You'll see, if you want to see each individual page, you can go back to my design team haul video. But you can kind of see that is just so super cool. Here's orange paper from the collection. Just adorable. So here is page 1 and 2. Okay, I'm going to try to do this without making you all dizzy. So on this page, oh, the other thing I used on all the pages is I got in my haul the Sunkissed Delights Fresh Dye Ink from Altenew, and I used the melted butterscotch. It just worked perfectly. I used it to ink the edges of most everything. So you can see here I made a little pocket. I tore the edge. Sorry, I have a boo-boo. I tore the edge and then inked it with the what was it called? Melted butterscotch ink. I just thought that looked so cool. And you can see here, I think you can tell, that's the witch. So I just attached her. I probably should have attached her before I put down all the pattern paper, but I didn't think about this until after the fact. So this is a piece of the pattern paper. This is a border strip sticker, a border strip from the sticker sheet. And then this down here is this tiny Pom Pom ribbon trim that was in my design team package. So I made, you guys have seen me make paper clips before. I just took, you know, a larger paper clip like this size. Sorry, I don't know, I threw the package away. I don't know what the actual size is, but I cut out a 2-inch scallop circle and I glued, I don't know if you can be able to see, yep, you can see there, I have some foam squares and I cut them down to fit inside the width of this. Hot glued it all in place, put a sticker down, and then covered up the back. So instant paper clip. Then I have, so here's our witch. It says it's the spooky season, and I just backed it on the piece of the pattern paper. And then we have, this is one of the 4x4 cut aparts that I probably cut this down. I'm pretty sure I cut it down. I inked the edges, put it on the piece of the solid cardstock that came in my design team package. It's the Echo Park coordinating cardstock. I think you get 6 sheets. I got the green, the orange, the pink, black, and another color orange. Like I said, that's all in my design team package video, haul video, sorry. And then I just stuck that there. So then over here, I actually need to go back and put a piece of pattern paper here in between the pages. I will do that. So over here we have a pocket with the piece of that coordinating cardstock. I took a little strip because I love these little dancing skellies. Absolutely love them. And this ghost is from the sticker sheet. She's just singing. She's booing her heart out, actually. And then you can see I just added some sequins that I actually purchased this quite a while ago from Tamra. So I have 2 tags here. There's our sweet little ghosty girl. This is another one of the Buttons Galore and More buttons. This is like Frankenstein. I just cut the shank off, hot glued it to the piece of Pom Pom trim, made a little pull, and then we have this one that says it's candy time. I have a corner punch, the angle corner punch from the Crocodile Corner Chomper. It's angle and photo. I use the angle punch here. And then I just added like a little pull with a piece of ribbon. So those are super cute. And Frankie hides right inside there. And the pumpkin goes inside there. All right. Oh, and so you can see here where I put the, I used a half inch wide by however long I needed piece of acetate. And I just cut out 2 2-inch circles out of this, the pattern paper that's the spider webs all over it. Then I used a foam square, attached the sticker, and then you can see here that I had to put a piece of sequins there because as I was gluing it on, as is inevitable with me, I dropped it and I tore the paper, and you know how it goes. So anyway, so then this page, this is fun. This is a belly band. I love this paper, this orange paper. It actually looks much more vibrant than in person. It looks very bright, very orange on my screen. It's a little more muted. It's like a darker orange. I made another tiny little, I think, I can't recall if this is 1 inch. It might actually only be, no, it's only a 1/2 inch strip of the pattern paper, the bats. So it's a 1/2 inch, and I think I did this one by 12 inches. Or, no, it was, again, 2 by 10. No. Sorry, let's back that up. It was 2 pieces of cardstock trimmed down to 1/2 inch by 10 inches. And then I scored every 1/2 inch, glued them together, and made a rosette. And this little paper ruffle, I have a punch, an edge punch that has this little ruffle. So I punched out the piece of cardstock. I cut the piece of cardstock, punched it on both sides, and then folded it. Unfortunately, I didn't expect the green to come through, but that's okay. That's the reverse side. I think it just works. Then I have this fairy, oh, what is that stuff called? I know Tamara sells this because that's where I bought it. Oh, no. It's fantasy, you could tell how old it is. Fantasy fiber, and it's called Cotton Cloud. I have had this for quite a few years, and I use it a lot, and I still haven't used it all. So you can see it kind of, I just thought it was fun. You know, gave it a cute little effect. So then I just made this is a 4x6 cut apart. It says, time for a fright because it's Halloween night, and I just made it into a little booklet. So that just slides right up underneath there. This is again another of the 4x4 cut aparts. Let's go, ghouls. And I just slide that up in there. And then this one says, just creeping it real. And I added 2 pieces of the trim on this one. So that, all that just kind of hangs out in there. And I love this. You can see that's the back of the moon. All right, next, I'm going to set this down. Next we have this little, it's magnetic. It's, what is his name? Dracula. It says, I think you're fantastic. Just added a couple of pieces of sequins there. There's a magnet under here. You could see the magnet right there. These are some candy stickers from the sticker sheet. And then we have a Happy Halloween 3x4 cut apart. And I added a piece of the sage ribbon and again another one of the buttons from the Witchcraft Halloween collection. And that just slides right inside there. Okay, next we have this page. So there were maybe 5, I think. 2x2 cut aparts, and I just matted them on a piece of cardstock. Have a perfect Halloween. You can put 2 little photos there, and these pop up. I was gonna put magnets in there, but I didn't want to do magnets. So what I decided to do is I made this part. I love this paper. Like, what is her name? I know it's Frankenstein's wife, but I can't remember her name. Anyway, I made this into just a standard pocket, you know, and then this boo sticker, it's 3 different stickers from the paper collection. I popped them up on foam squares, added a little piece of sequins there. This is a 3x4 cut apart with another one of the buttons. So that one kind of hides. Oh, and this right here is a sticker. I popped on a foam a foam square. And then probably my favorite sticker of the whole collection is this crazy skelly. And then this little spider was also in the Buttons Galore and More collection. It wasn't a button, it's just like not a cabochon, I don't know what you call it, but like a thing. So, and you can see it's thick, it's plastic. So I just added him on there, and then he just slides right inside there. And then the inside right cover, I made into a coffin. I had this boo cut out from last year. I thought it was super cute. And here we have a Dracula sticker from the sticker sheet that I popped up. You can see the foam square there. I cut out a 2.5 inch scallop circle. And then also a 1.5 inch circle, that orange behind there that you can't really see. So then I popped him up right in the center, and you can hear it's magnetized. Oh, come on. All right, so then we have there are four waterfall flaps. These are 3x4 cut aparts from the collection. I cut 4 pieces of that coordinating cardstock that I mentioned earlier. They are 3 1/4 by 4 3/4, and I scored it 1/2 inch on the short side to make the waterfall. So I love this one. It says, "This is Halloween," and I put this before I thought to glue down the magnet. I glued down the paper, so I had to put the magnet underneath this sticker. So he's just a happy, he's joining his friends here. He's just a little happy pumpkin. And then I just put a little piece of the I just put a little sticker from the sticker sheet. It's a little piece of candy. This one says "Trick or Treat" on the pink cardstock, and the sticker says "Sweet Chocolate." This one is our ghosty girl. If you got it, flaunt it. This one's #squad ghouls. Oh, bonus points. I think it was the CCC retreat last year. I think it was that retreat last year. Bonus points if you could tell me who dressed up like this. It was a CCC teacher at that retreat. So she'll crack up. Anyway, so then here's the last one with the pretty black cat. And then here I matted the back page with the ghosties. And then I also, and you'll see I show you in the video how I cut this and with the template and all that good stuff and how to make the template. But I actually just cut it. I cut the size of pattern paper and trimmed it down so I would have the actual shape of the coffin. And then I took that zigzaggy sticker from the border sticker from the sticker sheet and put it there. And then these are 3 stickers from the sticker sheet, the coffin. Then we have Frankenstein's wife, just a coffin, and then somebody's having a bad day. And then I just cut down some little tags, added some baker's twine, some black and white baker's twine, and I made this into a little pocket. You could put a lot more in here, but I just have these here. I thought it would be super cute to put a photo here of your little ghoul, and you could journal on the back of those. So that just comes down. Yeah. And then last but not least, here is the back. This spiderweb paper is the back side of the paper with all the skeletons on it. So, yeah. How cute is that? I just thought this was so super cute. So, yeah, the video, stay tuned for the video. It's coming up right after this, and I would love to see if you make this. There are so many great Halloween paper collections out there right now. But this, I love this. I absolutely love this. I think the only way this could have been better is if it had some purple in it. I don't recall seeing any purple on any of the pages, but love it. If you do make one, I'd love to see it. Please tag me. You can find me, obviously, in the Scrapbookers of Country Craft Creations. You can find me on my own Facebook page, Anne Marie Creates, and then on my Instagram page, Anne Marie Creates. So thanks for taking the time to listen to me ramble on today and to share my project. It's always super fun to see when you guys make projects. So please don't forget to like and subscribe. That does actually help our channels out a lot. I know you hear that all the time, but it is very, very true. So until next time, bye. Okay, so let's get started making our coffin-shaped book. So I have a few things that that I used when I made it. I have a ruler. I have some score tape. I have my bone folder. I made my template out of a lightweight chipboard. This was actually the backing of a paper collection. So I guess it's kind of lightweight. although it's pretty sturdy. If all you have is lightweight chipboard, you can make this book out of this. So, but I'm going to use the medium weight chipboard that I got in my package. So this is the shape. Now, if I had black chipboard, that would be fantastic. I just don't happen to have any, but I'll show you how I'm going to get around that. So to start off, I cut myself 4 pieces of the medium weight chipboard that are 6 inches by 8 inches. Okay, so you want 6 of those. And then I have a spine that's 2.5 inches by 5. Then for our hinge, well, actually, before we get to the hinge, I've chosen to wrap my spine. You know how when we do just a normal rectangle or a square shaped book, we, glue everything down like that, and we just wrap it so that the edges look nice and clean and black. I'm going to do that on the spine. But what we're going to do on the actual coffin shaped chipboard pieces is we're going to cut, and I used, if you're anything like me, you have a ton of scrap pieces of cardstock laying around, and I'm talking a ton. So this happens to be some scrap Artisan in black. So what I did, I just cut a 1-inch piece. Oops, 1 by 12. 1 by 12. You can see here, this is a blank piece. I scored it down the middle, and I put some 1/4-inch score tape on each one of the little tabs that it creates. So again, this is one that is 1 by 12. We're going to put it in our dirty scoreboard. And we are going to score, obviously, on the 1-inch side. And we are going to score at 1/2 inch. And that's it, all the way down the length of it. So this is the side with the ditch. I like to fold to the side with the bump, if that makes sense. See the little bump? I'm going to turn that over, and I'm going to take my score tape. And I'm just showing you this up front so that if you want to pause the video and go ahead, and if you haven't already, and make your little construction strips, is what I'm calling these. It's from way back in the day. Okay. When I used to do a lot of 3D projects, I was taught this, and it's ingenious. Okay. So just put your score tape. It's a little crooked. Holy moly. If you want to, you can just use wet glue. I just, for the sake of, the video, I'm just using score tape, plus score tape's kind of strong. So then, don't take your score tape backer off yet, and then go ahead and fold along that score line, fold it in half, and then we're just going to burnish the heck out of it. Get a nice good crease. Okay, and that is your construction strip. I believe, I tried it already, and I think to wrap the coffin, it's a little less than 2 of these strips. So what I did is I just literally with the score tape side up, just going to kind of lay it in there. I'm not going to do it yet. I'll do that when we get to it. And I literally stood it up like this and cut it off right there at that edge. And then I took the next one. I'm not sure which one it was now. I took the next one. Lined it up, cut it off at the edge. Now, if you want to, you can cut yourself a piece of, I would do the 6 by 8 cardstock, and you can make sure that you have at least 1/2 inch on each side. So you might want to do a 7 by 9 piece of cardstock, and you can wrap it sort of like we would with the lay flat method. you know, and just fold those sides over. I just thought that was a real waste of the black cardstock because we're going to cover all that up with pattern paper anyway, and nobody would ever know. So I cut myself 10 of these, I believe. I'm pretty sure it was 10, could have been 9. I lost track. So yeah, you can set those aside for now. The hinge, did we do the hinge? It's 5 inches by 5.5 inches. Okay, and then we are going to score on the 5.5 inch side. The 5.5 is across the top of your scoreboard. We're going to, no, don't score the side that has the writing. We're going to score at every 1/2 inch. So 1/2, 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3, and that's why I like to take a break, or I like to stop for a second and reline everything up, because sometimes my paper ends up going like that, and it's no bueno. So 3.5, 4, 4.5, and 5. Okay, and then what I like to do, and I learned this from, I think I picked this up from Tamara, I believe. I'm gonna bring my paper cutter in. Excuse my light there. I'm going to bring in my paper cutter, and on each one of these long sides, I am just going to trim off just a teeny tiny bit. Like, it's probably a 1/16 of an inch. I mean, you can see, you can barely see. So I'm going to take that amount off of each side, and I'll show you why in a second. So this is, oh, no, that's not the one I want to show you. Where's the one I want to show you? It's missing. Oh, here it is. This is what's going to end up looking like. It's hard to see it because, oh, nope, that's pretty good. See where that little teeny tiny piece we shaved off? If you don't shave that off, and when you turn the pages, if it's not lined up absolutely 100% correctly, you'll hear it scrape that little bit, and it'll get caught on your pages, and things will tear over time, and you don't want that to happen. So, let's see if you can see it on this one. Oops. There we go. Do you see the line right there? Anyway, so you just shave off a little 1/16 of an inch off of there. Solves that problem. Okay, let's set that aside for now. And then, okay, so we have the 4 pages that are 6 by 8. We have our 3.5 by 6 inch spine wrap, is what I'm calling it. And then our 2.5 by 5 inch spine. Okay, so that's everything that we need, at least to make the guts of the book. Not the guts, the base of the book. We're going to set that aside. So again, like I mentioned, I used a lighter weight chipboard. You could use a piece of cardstock if you wanted to cut out your template. If you want to freehand it, knock yourself out. I'm just not gifted that way. So what I'm doing, so I don't know if you're going to be able to see this. So I didn't draw the lines yet on this one. Where I'm going with this is, once you cut out your template, we're going to set that template right on top of the next piece of chipboard, and we're just going to trace it, and we'll get something like that, and then we're just going to put that in our cutter and cut that out. You could cut it with scissors if you want, but I have a hard time cutting a straight line. So to get to this point, you want to take your 6 by 8 inch piece of chipboard. Okay, I'll see. Let's see. Okay. Then we are going to take a ruler. Oops. And we're going to measure over. We're going to 1.5 inches. So we're going to measure 1.5 inches from the edge of your chipboard towards the center. 1.5 inches. And somebody stole my Sharpie pen off my desk. I don't know where it is, but I have a feeling I know. And then we're just going to make a little tick mark. Okay, and oops, where's my camera? And I show it here. Oops. From the edge, I measured over 1.5 inches and I put a little mark. I did the same over here. From the left-hand side, I measured over, line it up, 1.5 inches and made a tick mark. So then that's the top of the book. From the bottom of the book, or the piece of chipboard, I did the exact same thing. I measured over 1.5 inches, put a dot. I came from the other direction, from the left-hand side, and I measured over 1.5 inches and put a dot. Can you see it? It's right there. Okay, so far we have 4 little dots. And then what we're going to do, so this is my left-hand side. I'm going to turn, I'm still trying to get used to this new ruler. I'm going to measure down 2.5 inches from the top of the piece of chipboard down the left-hand side, and I'm going to put a mark. So see it right there? 2.5 inches right here, put a mark. We're going to do the same thing on the right-hand side. We're going to come down 2.5 and put a mark. It's right there. Okay? So then next what we're going to do is just take our ruler. I'm actually going to use a pencil for this one. We're going to take our ruler. Now straighten out your piece. Use your grid or however you want to. If you have a score pad, these are fantastic. I cut on these all the time. And then all we're just going to do, we're going to actually take, this pencil's not very sharp, but we're just going to connect those dots. So from the 1.5 to the 2.5. And this does not have to be perfect. Mine are never perfect. Okay, so there's one line. Right, so then I'm going to come over to this side and I'm going to connect the dots again. I'm trying to make it dark enough so that you can see it. So then we have those two dark lines. They look pretty similar. Right, so then we're going to take from that 2.5 inch dot and we're going to draw a line down to your 1.5 inch dot that comes from the right side, if that makes sense. So we're just going to line up that little dot with that little dot. So what we're cutting right now is this piece right here. Okay, or not cutting, we're drawing that line for that piece. And this is being done by hand, it's not being done by a machine. One of your pages might be a slight bit bigger than the other, you know, it's handmade. So we have that so far. Now we're going to connect that dot and that dot. And line her up. Okay, so there you have your first page. All right, and I'm not concerned about, you know, I have pencil marks or pen marks all over it. It's going to get covered up with the black strips anyway. So if you want to cut this out with scissors, you know, go ahead. Like I said, I am just not the best straight line cutter. I don't know why. But if you have, you know, I'm just using the old Fiskars cutter, paper cutter or paper trimmer. So this line right here is the cut line that my blade goes up and down. I am lining the line we drew right along that line. So I'm lining it up here and I'm lining it up down here. Close up my cutter and just cutting that away. Whoop. Easier to say than do. Oh, I didn't get it all the way, so let's try that again. See, apparently I can't even use a paper cutter either. There we go. So we cut that away, and that's what you should be left with. Oops, just dropped all my paper on the floor. All right, next we're going to do the same thing. We're going to line up this line at the top. We're going to line it up down here. Oops, not quite. Okay, there's that one. Let's keep this going. Okay, that doesn't feel right to me. We'll see. Nope, see, it's off just a little bit. Oops. Of course, when the cameras are rolling is when things happen. Oh, sorry, I just bumped my camera. So we just cut away that piece. So that's what we have. And then we're going to cut away this piece. Okay, so there we have our coffin. It could not be easier. So that looks, should be relatively the same size. Yep. So you see they line up pretty well. All right, so then next, now you can choose to keep these little pieces of chipboard. Again, as I said in the beginning, if you're anything like me, you probably have quite an extensive collection, sorry, of chipboard pieces. I know I do. I actually have a drawer in my desk across the room. It's full. You can't even open the drawer. Anyway, but one thing these are good for, if you don't have a big collection and you want to, you could cut these down into little squares, and you can use them to pop up stickers to give a sticker some dimension or a piece of ephemera. So I am going to pitch it. All right, so the next what we're going to do is we're going to take the template or the original. Actually, this becomes your template and it also becomes one of your pages. We're just going to line that up right on your next piece of chipboard. And all I did was just draw the line. I mean, you can feel free to measure it again if it's going to bother you. I don't care that much. So I just trimmed all these. Now see, that one is probably a little too far away. I probably need to get a sharper pencil, but that's okay. So there's that. And then you can see I actually did that. We're only going to have 4 total pages in this book. So there's our page 1 we just cut out. And then I'm going to go ahead and cut these other pages, and then we'll come back and we'll put on the black strip. So we have, or you should have at this point, 4 little coffin pieces. I mean, look how cute those are. They're super cute. Now, I guess you can probably tell mine aren't all exactly the exact same size, but I don't really care. That doesn't bother me. Yeah. So, but I mean, they're relatively all the same size. They're all the same length. They all match up right here at, at the crucial points. So I don't care about those. So I'm going to put those aside, and let's just go ahead and wrap our little spine piece. And you can see, you're like, what the heck? Why is it so small? I just wanted it to be just about, it's going to be like maybe a half inch or, a 1/4 inch on each side. So it's actually just going to open like that, even though you'll see. Hold on, you'll see. Anyway, so we have our 2.5 by 5. We have our 3.5 by 6 piece of chipboard. I think I'm just going to use some 3/8 inch score tape on this. I do have some score tape sheets, But right now they're buried underneath another project over there, and I'm just gonna do this. Now you want to use on your spine, just like with any other mini album spine, you want to make sure that you use a nice strong adhesive, because you know, opening and closing, it's going to get a lot of abuse. Sounds like a mean word, but I don't mean abuse. It's a lot of wear and tear. So I like to overdo the score tape on the spine, and then I probably will also use a little bit of wet glue. So I'm just burnishing that down, and I'm going to go ahead and remove all of this paper backing, or if you can cover it with your art glitter glue, whatever you prefer. Don't glue your hand to your project. Okay, so I'm just going to cover up those letters there, the numbers and the letters. And I'm just going to, again, you can measure this if you want to. I'm just going to eyeball it. Nobody really ever sees it, but okay, so there, it's all glued down. So we're just going to go ahead, use my desk. I'm just going to go ahead and use my desk to kind of bend that paper, form that paper around the chipboard. Okay. I don't know what happened here. Got something on it. Okay, so then we're going to just go ahead and do what we do with, you know, normally when we wrap chipboard. We're just going to, where those two lines intersect, so you folded it, so now you have a score line like right along the edge of your chipboard. So you see that little box right there? We're just going to cut on the inside of that score line right up to your chipboard. Leave yourself a little bit of space. We're going to do it on this side. Then we're going to come over here and just slightly angle and remove that piece of that little square. Okay, let's do the same over here. I'm just getting the bulk out of the way so that when we fold it, you get a nice clean fold. Everybody has their own way of doing this. This is the way I like to do it. So again, you can use score tape if you want to. I'm just going to go ahead with some wet glue here. Sometimes it's just easier. I like to always have a dry baby wipe handy to get rid of any glue that oozes out. Let's do that again on this side. You know, I go to a lot of Tamara's retreats, and whether I'm teaching or if I'm making the project, I look around and I see people are some people are just so clean with their glue. I get it everywhere. I don't know what it is. It's really not a lot of glue, but it just oozes out everywhere. Oops. Make sure to give that some good pressure. Help it stick. And the last side. See, it's not a lot of glue. I don't know. I'm just special. Okay. Oh, dang. See? And as long as you don't ever have to worry, you don't have to worry about art glitter glue. It always dries clear. So that's wrapped. Then I just like to kind of flatten the paper to the chipboard, the edge of the chipboard. There you go. And we're going to put a piece of pattern paper on there. I think that's actually marker from when I, not marker, but pen from when I wrote the 5 by 5.5. So now you can actually add a piece of paper here, which I did forget to do, but let's see. No, it's just a little too big. So let's cut a piece of scrap cardstock. Oh, for heaven's sake. Here we go. All right, so this is 2.5. We're going to do 2 3/8. So this becomes 5 by 4 7/8. Okay, so 2 3/8 by 4 7/8. Okay, I'm just going to add some glue here. And just kind of center it top to bottom, side to side. Ow! Okay, so there's your spine. And then what we'll do when we make the hinge, we are just going to glue the hinge just like that. All right, so, but before we put the hinge together, let's put our black trim. Again, you do not have to do this step. I would skip forward, and if you don't want to do this, you can, if you have a black Sharpie marker, you can just color it in black here along the edges. You can paint the edges with black acrylic paint, or you can use black distress ink or whatever is your favorite black ink. But I'm gonna, well, since I cut them, I'm going to go ahead and use my little strips, okay? Because not everybody has inks, not everybody has, you know, paint. So let's just do this. So let's grab one of your strips. Just cut that little piece that's sticking off. Okay. So the bottom is flat at this point. And then what we're going to do is just line up the bottom of your strip with the bottom of your book. Okay? And then this is literally all I did, was take it and just trim it off like that. And let's see. Whoops. I'm only going to remove one edge at a time. Now you can lay this down and line it up if you want to. You just want to make sure that you do not go over your score line in the center of the strip. Yeah, so, and anything that hangs over by mistake, you can cut it right off. So no need to worry. All right, so I ended up putting it on the back first. And I'm just going to go ahead, take this side, and then give that a good burnish. Okay, and I'm not going to trim any of this until the end. So you can see it actually gives you that nice black. And then when we cut the pattern paper, we'll cut it just a little bit shorter so that you can see the nice black frame. All right, so then the next one, I think I went, did I say I used this one? Oh, that one's too big. Okay, so then the next one, we're gonna go ahead. So I mitered the edges on this one, so I just angled the edge with my scissor to just match up this edge, this little corner. Just get that as close as you can. Stick that down. There's no science to this, it's just do the best you can. Okay, but on this one, I don't know if you can tell, you can see that I have a bit of overhang right here. I am going to line my scissor up with the chipboard, and I'm just going to trim that away. Okay, so then next, so I believe I did this one incorrectly. Yep, that's a small one. So then I took another piece and just laid it up here. I trimmed the edge, or angled the edge, so the folded edge is on top, and then I just gave it an angle cut. And this will make more sense as we start using the full strip. But then we're just going to do the same thing. We have that little corner there. We're going to match that corner with that little corner on your strip. Uh-oh, I used the wrong one, but that's okay. We're going to cover it up anyway. So then we're going to, you can see I missed. But again, it's going to get covered up, so not to worry. Let's see, is this the one? Yes, this is the one. Okay. Okay, so now we have this one. Actually, I'm doing it on this side. I'm going to do the same. Just line it up. Nope. I think I did that one wrong. Yikes. What did I do? What did I do? Okay. Alright, so then we'll take this one. let's start with a full one. I might have to use a black marker. Dang nabbit. I'm probably going to have to use a black marker right there to kind of cover that up. No worries. Doesn't bother me. I'm going to go ahead, line it up, and trim that off. Then you'll see, once you do this a time or two, you'll see this kind of just becomes super easy. Let me grab a black marker off of my shelf. Okay, where is it? Okay, as I mentioned, somebody stole my Sharpie, so I will use just a regular black marker. Kind of fill that in. Ooh, that stinks. If you didn't know it was there, you wouldn't know it wasn't there. That makes sense. So, and then I'll just add a flower or something. I'll cover it up somehow. So anyway, so there's that piece, and then we have this last piece. It's a little bit longer. Oh no, it's not the last piece. Second to the last piece. I got a little bit of overhang on that. Okay. Wait, what did I do? There we go. I Again, we're just going to match up that corner with that little corner and then stick this down. Now, if you have black chipboard, and I know you can get it in Camera Store, I just didn't happen to have any this time. Black chipboard will make your life much easier for this project. Or, like I said, just use a Sharpie. Okay, and then I have this last little piece that I need to put some score tape on. And like I said, this doesn't have to be absolutely straight or super, super neat because it's going to get covered up anyway. Oh shoot, I forgot. Nobody told me to turn off my glue. I mean, to put my cap in my glue. Come on, guys. Yeah, look out for each other. Okay, so we're just going to line up that corner piece with the bottom. So now all of your edges, all of your raw edges are covered with the black chipboard. So I think it's adorable. So wait till we put the pattern paper on. And then what I like to do too is, just like I did on the spine, just go ahead and just flatten this down. You don't have to, but I just like to do that. And then I think I saw a little piece was sticking out somewhere. Oh, there it is. I'm just going to trim that off. Okay. So that is our first one. You can go ahead. I will do this again on camera with you, and then you can go ahead and do the other two. All right, so let's take another one. Let's start with a brand new strip. I'm going to, I was going to put it on first. I guess we could do that. Just trim it down. Again, we just don't want, we don't want this top piece to extend over this little edge here, this little point. So just do your best. If it does, you can always just cut it off. Okay. Let's see, is that piece big enough? Yes. Okay. So I got three sides done with one strip. I think it was all three. Okay. And if this gets on your nerves, then, like I said, just use a marker or a black chipboard. So, okay, but we're almost done with the second one. I just like to show you that you don't always have to have everything the same as like the designers or whatever video you're watching. You can compromise with what you have. All right, and then this piece will go here. Just gonna cut that off. All right, and the last piece just line that up. Whoa. Okay. Okay, I have a little bit, something sticking out here. Okay. There is coffin page number 2. And again, I'm not worried that these are off because these are all going to get cut. This is getting covered up with our pattern paper. So there's number 2. So go ahead and do your other 2 pages. And then next up we will we'll finish up the hinge, add it to the spine, and then put the book together. Okay, so I apologize. I made a mistake on the sides of the spine. So since we're only going to have 4 pages, our spine is not going to be 2.5 inches. I don't know why I thought that. It is actually 1 5/8 inches across by 5. So, yeah, I apologize for that. Now, if you've already cut it and, you know, the 2.5 by 5, you can actually add another page. But just for the purposes of this video, I'm just going to go with the 1 5/8 by 5 inches and the 4 hinges. Okay, so you can see I re-wrapped the little piece. And what we're going to do now is take the hinge that we just made, the 4-piece hinge, and we're going to attach it to our spine. So this is where I always get super nervous because this is where things go wrong for me. I'm going to actually only remove the backing of one of the hinges. I'm going to add some wet glue here. I'm going to make sure that there's some on the edges because I would hate for them to lift. So as you can see, I'm folding down the hinge. Normally when I make a book I leave about 1/2 inch, but this is kind of different. So I'm going to take the fold of the hinge and make sure it lines up right along the edge of the spine piece. Okay, we don't want it to go over. You want to try not to go over, try not to go too far in, but just super, super close. Okay, so you can, I don't know if you're going to be able to tell, but it's pretty flush. Right now it's lifting up because, you know, it's what it does. We will put some clips on that in a minute after we get the other pieces down, we'll put a paper clip or something on it to hold it down. So again, just a little bit of glue. Okay, kind of line that up. So as long as you scored correctly on the 1/2 inch, you shouldn't have any overhang. If you do, I mean, it happens. What are you gonna do? So here is the last piece. Okay, so I want to make sure and line it up as best I can. You might have to get a little creative and maneuver the paper, stretch the paper a little bit, but you want that folded edge to match as close to the edge of the spine as you can get it without crossing over it. I think I did. We'll see. Okay, so I am going to take a clip, a few clips, and I'm going to add them on the edge. I didn't even know I had this many of these. And I'm going to add them on this edge too. And just let that glue adhere. Actually, before I put this down, I should probably make sure to burnish the others. Okay, so let's clip that so that stays in place until it dries. I don't even know where these clips came from. I think they're Dollar Tree, but I don't know for sure. If you don't have those, these little not paper clips, sort of these little clothespins, these work just as well. I don't know, for some reason I just feel like I need a really strong clip. So I'm sorry if I confused everybody. It happens. So, okay, well, I'm gonna let that dry, and then we are gonna do our best. Okay, so now we got all that confusion out of the way. Let's put our pages onto our spine. So you can see we have 4 flat, and I just have some glue that's still drying. Oh, and of course my neighbor's now mowing the lawn, so I'm sorry if you can hear that. So you can see we have our 4 hinges. They fit pretty nicely right inside of this 1 5/8" spine. All right, so what we're gonna do, I'm kind of debating about what's the best way to do this. So normally we have like a sleeve page that fits onto the hinge, but I don't have that this time. So I'm thinking it makes most sense to kind of center this, the spine right here, you know, because the book will open this way. So I'm going to take some 3/8 inch score tape, and I'm going to put my score tape on the first hinge. I'm going to go edge to edge, or, you know, top to bottom, and I'll show you in a sec when I pick it up. I don't want to go above, obviously you don't want the score tape to hang over the edge of the flap. If it does, you can just fold it back down on itself. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to pick a spot, and I'm just going to kind of stick it down and hope for the best. All right, so, and yes, we are going to use the score tape and some wet glue just for the actual, not just, you know, the added strength, but for the wiggle room, the wiggle time, whatever. Okay, so I think I'm just gonna like use my thumb I want to make sure that the book will still open and close, so I don't want to get too close to the edge. Okay. Alright, let's see. Let's see how that worked. I mean, I think it looks okay. You're obviously going to see that for a minute until it dries. I think it might be a good idea to put some clips on it again, but we'll see. All right, the next one, you're just going to take your next page and do the same thing. I think, well, I don't think it really matters. You could do it on either side of your hinge. I think I prefer on the inside. Just make sure you don't go over your little fold line right there. So let's put some score tape down again. And this one I'm going to try to keep pretty close to the top edge of the hinge where it folds over. It's going to get covered with the pattern paper, so should be okay. Is anybody as nervous as I am? I was just going to use binder rings. I talked myself out of it. I thought this would be cuter. Why is it sticking together? Jeez Louise. Okay. So you have to make sure that it's standing up, because you don't want your book to be okay. Again, you don't want it to be too close to that edge, but you want it to stand. Okay. Told you I'm messy. Okay. I'm going to flip it open this way. I mean, that's going to be so cute. It's going to open like that. And look how much glue squeezed out of there. Okay, let's just keep the ball going. Hope you can see what I'm doing here. Okay, next. Let's stand it up, make sure it's all, because you don't want your pages to hang below the bottom of the front one. It should be okay. Just take your time, don't rush it like me. Giving that a second to grab, and I'm just like standing it up on my desktop. Okay. Okay. That is too cute. Okay, just give that a second. Apply pressure. Until it really grabs. Okay, so far so good. And then the last one is going to go on the outside, like the front. we will take this one. Yikes. There we go. Okay. Whoop. Well, I am just making a mess here. So I'm just kind of reaching my fingers in between there. Oh, where's it stuck? What the heck? Okay. 3, 4. Something is not sitting on. There we go. Okay. All right. Not too concerned about that. We're going to cover that up with paper as well. Okay. How cute is that? Okay. But what I want to do now is grab some of these smaller little clothespins. I have about 8 million of these here on my desk. Okay. And I just want to make sure to put them like this. Just to clip the edges to make sure that it all dries and it doesn't move. Excuse me. Okay, last two. I'm most concerned about the outermost covers. I don't want those to come loose. Okay, so I'm just going to leave that sit. And I'm going to let that dry for just, I don't know, 10-15 minutes. And just go back and make sure everything's stuck. Well, that broke. Just make sure everything's stuck down. Nothing wants to pull up. And we will start the decorating. Okay, I'm going to share with you how I am going to cut out the pages, the pattern paper. So I'm going to start with my cover. I don't decorate my cover typically until last, but I definitely set the papers aside. So what I'm going to do, this is a sheet of the, oh, can you see it? Yep. Oh, you can see me. Hi! The mirror cardstock. If you go back and you watch my haul video, this is the Craft Perfect, what is it called? It's from Tonic, the Craft Perfect Glossy Black Mirror Cardstock. And yeah, so what I did is I just took the template that we created at the beginning that we used to cut out the book pages. So I just took it and I laid it down on the sheet of the the mirror cardstock, traced it, and I literally cut it out. And I cut it out with scissors. So, and then I realized, you know, you'll be able to see a little bit. I didn't want too much of the front of the book itself to show. So see, it's all kind of fancy schmancy. Now all my pages are out of order. Anyway, I wanted to have a border, you know, maybe a 1/4 inch, 1/8 of an inch to a 1/4 inch border around each page. So I took this template and I traced it. Then I took my ruler and I measured in 1/8 of an inch, drew in 1/8 of an inch all the way around, and then I just cut it out. So then that becomes my pattern paper template. So yeah, so then what I've done for each page so far, I'm only using the mirror cardstock on the front cover. I might put it on the back cover. I haven't decided yet. But so what I did was take my pattern paper, and you definitely want to remember which is the upside, you know, which is the right side of your pattern paper. So I just wrote pattern paper on the front so that I remember when I trace it, I remember which side is up. So I just laid it on the 12 by 12 sheet. Didn't do a very good job cutting that, but you know, it's okay. Traced it out, and then I took the melted butterscotch ink. This is the Altenew ink that came in my, but I can never get open. There we go. It came in my design team package, and I just took, it's a gorgeous, yeah, I think you can see that. It is a gorgeous orange butterscotch. I didn't get out an ink dauber, you know, like a blending tool, because I just thought this was just perfect. I didn't want too much blending. I didn't want to make it like vintage photo. I didn't want to make it too vintagey. So yeah, that's going to be perfect. So then what I'm going to do, I will attach all those. So then this will go on like this so that you get that little shiny border around the outside. But first I want to actually put a ribbon closure on this. So I took a 12-inch piece of this beautiful satin ribbon. I think it's called sage green. I was calling it mint, but it's definitely sage green. And I think I'm going to probably just put it like right here. I don't know. Yep. Oops. I put a little piece of score tape there to hold it. And I'm just going to do that, and I'm going to take another piece of score tape. Yes, I know I'm overkill with the score tape, but you don't want it letting loose. So then I'm just going to do this. Oh, I'm going to do the same thing. I have all my loose pattern papers in there. I have the second piece. Oops. I'm just going to kind of eyeball it. I'm not going to measure or anything, just to make sure that they're in a similar spot. I mean, the book is kind of skinny right now, but if you know me, I like to junk them up. It'll be a chunky one by the time we're done. So there's our ribbon. I wanted to make sure to add that before I forgot. Then I just went ahead on each one of the pieces of pattern paper. Oh no. Okay, the way I do it, the front of the paper always matches, or the back of the paper always matches the front of the paper. So that takes all the guesswork out. You know, what page goes with what, you know, blah, 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 blah. So, yeah, I will ink these pages. I'll probably use a lighter ink on this one. But I'll ink all these pages and glue them down. So that's super cute. Love the bats. That actually was going to go on the front, but I don't know. I haven't decided yet. That's the back. The little coffin characters. I know that's not straight, but that'll go like that. I'm going to have pockets. I'm going to put in some flaps. You know, all the things. And then this is the ghosties. That's going to go here. And then that's going to go there. And I haven't decided what's going to be my back cover yet. Oops, I think I might have miscut this one. It's a little too skinny. It's getting stuck over here. Yep, I think I just need to recut that. I don't have many pages, so trying to be, unless, oh, That's how it goes. One goes there, one goes there. And I'll cover that up with a pocket or something. Anyway, you can see what I'm trying to do there. So I'm going to go ahead, decorate the book, and when I come back, it'll all be spectacularly finished.